This morning, my family is very hungry, so cheese biscuits is the perfect thing to make here on the homestead. Come along and I will show you how you can make cheese biscuits in your cast iron skillet. Welcome back to our channel, The Purpose Driven Homestead. I'm Amanda, and today we are making cast iron cheese biscuits. Now, growing up, I had a lot of toasts, bread, cereals, but biscuits weren't really on the menu very much. And so when my husband and I got married, cheese biscuits and regular biscuits were something that he was definitely used to having. So over the years, I have really enjoyed coming up with my own recipe, and I'm so excited to share that with you today. So I'm gonna go ahead and flip around the camera. I hope that you enjoy this. Okay, to start off, we have 2.5 cups of all-purpose flour in our bowl. To that, we are going to add 1 teaspoon of salt, 3/4 teaspoon of baking soda, and 2 teaspoons of baking powder. Go ahead and stir that up and get it nice and incorporated. And then you will take 1 cup of buttermilk. Now, I have actually eliminated the buttermilk from our grocery list because you can make buttermilk with just whole milk and about 1 teaspoon of vinegar, plain white vinegar, per 1 cup. So that works perfectly. It's just like buttermilk. So go ahead and get this nice and stirred up. Next, go ahead and cut in about 3/4 cup of vegetable shortening. You're going to add about 1/2 cup of honey and then work that in the dough as well. This gives it a nice flavor with the sharp cheese. It's kind of a sweet and salty flavor. Take a little bit of flour and just dust on our surface, get it nice and rubbed in there, and then go ahead and pour out your biscuit dough onto your board, and we are just going to kind of work that dough and all of the extra flour in there to make sure it's nice and incorporated. Knead it a little bit, and then we are going to make our discs for our cheese to be worked into. I always use a mason jar, a regular mouth mason jar for my buttermilk. That way I can go ahead and use the top here as my cutter. So I'm just gonna go ahead and cut out the biscuits. Now, if I was just making regular biscuits today, I would just go ahead and put that on right in the cast iron skillet. But we are gonna go ahead and roll those out a little bit so that we can fill it up with cheese. Our daughter normally cuts out all of the biscuits. That's her job. She loves to do that. So I don't have my helper with me right now. We need a little bit more flour on our surface here. Just rub it right in. Not too much, but just a little bit so that we can go ahead and pat them out nice and flat. No perfect way of doing this. Just go ahead and pat it down. And then we have our cheese are probably about 2 inches by 2 inches, just as big as I possibly can to get them fit in there. And just go ahead and work it around, patting it along the way, and then go ahead and just shape it. And if there's any holes anywhere, just go ahead and mold the dough to that. So there is our nice cheese biscuit. And I'm gonna go ahead and fill up the rest of them here, and then I'll be right back with you to show you how exactly we're going to line this in the pan. Okay, my pan is already greased. I have greased it with a decent layer of olive oil. And now this is a 12-inch, so this is actually a little bit bigger than what I would like for it to be for our biscuits. This made about 10 biscuits. And normally if you make 2 batches, then it can fill up this entire pan, but go ahead and put the biscuits in here. Now the key with cheese biscuits that I have found is to pack them nice and tight. That way they kind of can lean on each other and make sure that that cheese kind of stays in there. So I'm gonna fill up about half of my pan, and like I said, if I had a double batch, then I could go ahead and fill up this whole 12-inch pan. But if you have maybe a smaller pan to put them in, or this just packing it halfway works perfectly as well. I am gonna bake these at 400 degrees for about 40 minutes, and I will show you what they look like in the end. After about 40 minutes, here are our cheese biscuits, guys. So as I said, definitely make sure that they're packed nice and tight, because as you can see, I think for the most part, all of our cheese has stayed in there, maybe except for this one here at the end. But that will definitely help you to keep all of the cheese inside there. So, and everybody wants that cheesy goodness. So I'm gonna go ahead and open this up so you can see the inside of them. So you can see when we break it apart, look at all that good cheesy goodness that stayed in that biscuit. I hope that you enjoyed that recipe and tried it out for yourself. That is a recipe that a lot of friends and family have asked me for years, so I'm so happy to share it here with you guys. If you like the video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. That really helps us out. Have a wonderful day, guys. Thanks for stopping by.